Hey, what's going on, everyone? This your boy Freeze hanging out in the Deceptilab as always. And this particular series is actually an interesting one because I had my first guest on the show this time, and it was actually Transformers Earth Wars community manager Dale from Space Ape. And we had about a 2 hour conversation just talking about the game, everything from just the state of the game to how we feel the game went in 2023 and we had a really good time, and so I wanted to share that interview with you guys. I'm breaking it down into multiple sections just based off of the different topics that we discussed, so make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, catch all of the videos in this series, and I will see you on my live streams, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Freezy us out. So that actually kind of segues into what I was wanting to ask about is, so you guys got a lot of criticism, particularly from top players, about endurance bots over the course of the year. And there's actually a couple of things that the criticism seems to come from, and it's like, um, one thing is, a lot of the complaints have been that the bots were too niche. And
Yeah, I I've been saying to the team that, I don't know maybe if that's my feedback going wrong with them, but we need something new, I think.
right,
Blue Streak, Blue Streak, I actually pitched the idea to the team that Blue Streak should have like something that charges. And they actually, to be fair to them, they really like the idea and built a feature of like a charge ability, which was super cool. Um, but yeah, I feel like that is kind of where I'm thinking about endurance bots. I feel like endurance bots, yeah, in one way, I don't mind that they're niche because in one way, you might not know that before you release them that they're too niche. And in another way, we're trying something new, and I think we should. Like Junk Heap, for example, was
yeah.
new. Causes
Well,
us a lot of problems. I mean, I mean, don't get me wrong. We find a lot of problems when we try something new. Like Junk Heap was just something else. I mean, we still have quite a few comments about him now. About is it a revive? Is it a heal? I mean, I've got my own opinions on that, by the way. I think it's a revive, which is not an heal. But I don't want to say that that's
yeah,
right because other people have their arguments. But I know my opinion of it was: is it really a heal? Is it not a revive? So does that not then dodge acid? I mean, that was my argument in the team anyway. And there was like, no,
right,
because when somebody dies, they get their health back. So is that not a heal? But I'm like, well, it's like it's a very odd one, isn't it? Because it depends how you think about it. Is it a heal back, or is it just
right.
he just goes back in time and he just goes back and gets his HP back? But then is that not a heal? Oh my god! Now I think about it, I just have a debate with myself about whether it's right or wrong. Look, that one, even I'm confused whether that should work or not because yeah, it's just a like how are we going to consider it? Are we going to if we consider it as a heal, then yes, it should be affected by acid. But then it sucks, doesn't it, to use an ability and then get hit by acid and then the ability doesn't go off, and that is my problem.
Right.
But they did say that they would, because I said, well, can't they have acid resistance a little bit? So even if you used it, it would still go off, but it wouldn't get the full HP back. So I think that is something. I'm not sure if they did that or if it's something they're still looking at. But yeah, I'd say that was caused new problems. But in terms of niche bots, I know from the community side, we're just saying try something new, try something
Mm-hmm.
different. Just try it. And I guess if players think it's too niche, sorry, we've got to try and keep bringing in something new. Maybe we'll get a bot where people are like, wow, I really like this ability. I really like the idea. I mean, Blue Streak, by the way, a charge up ability. I mean, now I think we could technically have like charge up combats and stuff if that's been built. I'm not setting the expectation, but
Right.
it's like well, now we brought out this new tech to support that. But technically now we could have charge up Kremzeets, I think, and things like that. If you could use you use a Kremzeet once and then it charges up in. Well, maybe no, actually not Kremzeets. Now I think about it. Now I think about the design, but in terms of bots, definitely.
Right.
But I would just keep encouraging the team to try something new. For an endurance, for me, just give me something new. I don't want to see like a warrior with a shield anymore or charging in, like I said to you earlier.
Right.
That's why I did nose cone different. That's why nose cone was always a slow charge. kind of different. Yeah, he gets the shield, but he's like he doesn't rush in. Very slow.
Yeah, and honestly, like,
Different.
and I can appreciate it. Just because that is one of the complaints that come from a lot of these guys. It's like, oh, that's just the, insert random bot with a new skin.
Yeah, repainted. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. That's the
but
last thing we want to do. Yeah, it's to
but
run an endurance.
you're mad about that, but then you're also mad when it becomes too niche, and it's like, hey, all right, man, you got to pick a lane and kind of stay in it because,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
I hope that we hit a bot where it's not too niche and people actually see value in it. But I would just keep. Unfortunately, I don't know if people will hate this, but I'm still encouraging the team to try new things because you're right. We don't want to like a repainted bot after this much. I mean, we're already pushing our game engine to the point. I mean, the blue streak ability, like I said, was completely new technology for it. We had to build completely new tech, which is just super cool. So hopefully we can see more of that. Maybe more charge up abilities in the future. Yeah, it'd be super cool.
and I think a lot. I think most of the community probably would agree that what you guys did with Wild Rider and Blue Streak. So I mean, based off and particularly on the concept because Wild Rider, it's the same bot as Breakneck, and so like you had some similarities, but you had some things that made it different, and I thought it came out really cool, and I think that if more of them came out somewhere around that level, I think most of the people will be pretty pleased with it.
Yeah, I
Um,
see it being really good for jets.
yeah,
Really, really good for jets, and like I say, that's our first bot with that kind of mechanic. There's gonna be more, and I can't wait to see what other bots get it. So yeah, it's just super exciting that a usable ability can do more damage, which is just nice that we built it into the tech. So finally we've got something like that in, and just hope that we can potentially build something else. Because what is the other request that I asked for? There was something else that I can't remember now, but I have asked for something else in terms of what we should do, but I've completely forgot now. So yeah, maybe I didn't ask for anything after all. uh, my
now
memory.
now I was actually going to ask while we're on the endurance bots. So
Yes.
there's a little bit of a backlog of endurance
A
bots
back.
coming into batches,
Oh yeah,
into regular
yeah.
batches. So
Takes us some.
we're now sitting at 5 per faction that aren't in batches yet. It might be 6. I think it's 5. And it's like, is there anything like any plan to kind of address that we had so many of these endurance bots that hadn't made it to batches yet?
No, is the answer. No is the answer. I'm afraid. Well, I do understand the concern. I mean, damn, yeah. I mean, if we keep going, some of the endurance batches would have been.
So I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read what I got.
What's this got? Brawn.
Braun and Full Tilt, Ariel and Scylla, Alpha Trion and Tarn, Junk Heap and Wreckgar, and then Wild Rider and Blue Streak. Now, obviously, some of them were newer than others.
That's a good batch, though, isn't it? Like, that's a good batch, isn't it? Yeah, that is going to be the next thing that we're going to address in the new year from the community side. That we can't ask them to keep releasing batches, but I feel like this was another reason for Legacy as well. Is we're taking old 4-star bots, we're making them a 5-star because we've got Nosecone in there as well, who's a 5-star now.
Right.
We're going to have Huffer and Lockdown, who's going to be a 5-star. For the individual endurance. So yeah, I feel like with Legacy, I want to do my bit in trying to help bring more 5-stars to the game. So that means faster batches. But I also think that we need a team to obviously try and match what they did this year because we had the most 5-star batches this year, I believe. Was it
Yeah.
this year? Yeah. I think we had the most 5-star batches this year, which is going to be 4. Was it 4 or 3? No, it's 4.
Think it was 4.
4, yeah. So hopefully we can do 4 next year. But yeah, that's going to be on our feedback for next year to address. Hopefully we can get these batches out faster.
Yeah, and it's one of the things. It comes up like almost every week in my streams. It's like,
When's the batch? Yeah,
yeah,
I
and
get it.
and I'll be honest, I get annoyed by it sometimes, but I was like, I do get it because when I actually sat down and looked at the list of what's not out yet, and then it, the question comes up about like endurance. I feel like you're paying for exclusivity, but then like how much exclusivity is too much for any one
Mm.
particular bot? Like if you're waiting around 8 months for a bot, that's like you probably had them a little bit longer than you should have compared to the rest of the community.
Yeah, I mean, Brun was March. I've just checked. Brun was 23rd of March. I'd say now is probably a good time to probably get him into a batch, but then you can't really make a batch with those kind of bots, I'm afraid, because they're only endurance bots. So we will need we'll need the nose cone, we'll need the huffer, we'll need some others. But then again, nose cone's just been an event. He's going to be an exclusive for some time because it was individual. Huffer's going to be the same. So yeah, I think we need, between January to March, I think we'll see another 5-star batch, and hopefully we'll be able to form a batch within some of them that you've mentioned, maybe 2 of them. I can't remember what we had last time. Was it 2 of them? But then again, it doesn't solve all the other endurances coming in. So yeah, we'll definitely need a faster process for it.
Yeah, I got you. And hopefully with, especially it seemed like at the beginning and the earlier in the years, it's easier to try to do that stuff than like at the end, because usually at the end you might try to go get a new combiner, you might try to go get like a new Titan and stuff when it's later in the year. It seems that like that's been the process the last
Mm,
couple of years.
yeah.
All right, and so I got one more question, and it's just because it's really really current. Combats and weapons. So I guess it's been a little bit
Oh,
of controversy about that.
yes. What would you like to know about that one? Combats and weapons. People keep saying me Victory Leo weapon. No, not a weapon.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
combat.
it's combat. Yeah, I think people are seeing a weapon as something that can only be used on one bot. Not correct. There's combat bots and combat weapons. They will both use the same slots. Um, Combat bots are characters. Combat weapons are not. That is the clear divide between them. Weapons will go into the shop first. There will not be an event. You'll already have the 4-star because you would have done the event, the combat event for it.
Hmm.
The price in the shop, it's going to be pushing for $100. Whether we get it or not, I'm not sure. Could be 150 maximum. Um, don't quote me on any of those numbers because we are still working with a team to try and get the lowest. Obviously, we're fighting for the lowest price on our side because we're fighting for the players. But the 5-star will go to the shop. Again, this is all used by combat 5-star shards. It's not going to be any other new currency that you need. It'll go to the shop. It'll become an exclusive in there for the 5-star only. And then once we get 3, there'll be a weapon batch of 3. So no, it won't be a 5 batch. It'll be a 3 batch.
Yeah, and I know we had discussed before because it was so you'll have it go in the shop and you know like first quarter we be looking at and try to go put
Yeah,
the sword in the shop.
Sword in the shop, I believe, will come this week.
Oh, okay, cool. So then,
I think it'll be this week or next week. Sorry, next week. It's Christmas Day next week. We won't be going in there. I heard that we're trying to get it out this week. That could change because obviously everybody winding down now with the Christmas break coming up. So if it's not this week, it'll be first week, week 1 January or week 2. In terms of the batch will definitely be Q1 because I've been reassured that the batch will be Q1.
okay,
So you don't have to wait a long time. If you're one of those people who are like, no, I really don't want to spend money in your shop, fine. You don't have to. You can wait until the batch. I'm not sure if the 5-star combat shard price is going to be the same versus a 5 batch because this is a 3 batch. So setting expectation there, could there be a price increase? I don't know. I mean, it's a 3 batch versus a 5 batch, probably, but they'll still use combat 5-star shards, and the batch will be out Q1, which is January or February or March.
yeah, and I think I think for a lot of the community when they heard that it was going to be in the store, and they at that point they weren't assured that hey, we're going to shortly after that we're going to go bring this content out. I think that's
Oh,
when, and obviously it got leaked to it got leaked from was the LP chat Unicron chat.
yeah, which is very, very annoying because in one way we come to you first before we tell the players. Because how it works is we get to the team, they won't like this, but we'll present it anyway. And then you support support what we say because you go, yeah, we don't like it. So then we come back to the team and go, well, what now? You know, we said this would be the reaction, and then I mean, to be fair to Yanis and Hyro, they as soon as they knew that people didn't like it, it was right, let's fix this kind of a thing. We're going to have a discussion about it, and we are going to actually resolve this. So that was really good, and then we got the information that it was going to be addressed. It was a shame that it was leaked because it really didn't do anything in a way because it was old news. Like as soon as it was leaked, it was like old news. Like it was just stirring the pot for nothing. And I just hope that we can still continue to trust that group of players, which is a focus group at the minute. It's like a test run of what we're doing.
Right.
That we can bring changes to them. But them leaking it doesn't change anything because the feedback that we got from you guys within the first 2 hours was enough for us to go back to the team and say this is not good enough. So when it was eventually leaked, it did nothing. Like just more people knew about it and obviously were angry over it. But we already knew that reaction because we spoke to you guys first. So we knew people wouldn't be happy with it. So yeah, it's disappointing that a leak happened. We are going to start tracking posts on who is actually reading them because we can do that now. So if another leak happens, we can say, "Oh, look at all these people who've read it. Which one is it?" Because we know we're in the online chats. We know who's posting it. It was posted in, Canada East. We've been in the Horde line chats, which is just really cool because you think we're players. We can read what you're saying, which is really nice because it's actually nice sneaking into line chats.
Yo.
One, it's really nice sneaking into line chats because one, I think if you don't know we're there, it actually helps give feedback because you're actually ranting about the game
Right.
in a authentically. You're ranting about the game, not to do it in front of me. You're not doing it in front of me. Like on Discord, people
Right.
may just rant because they know I will see it. But when you do it online, you know I'm not there, so you have a genuine issue. There's been quite a few times where somebody's complained about something online, go, "Oh my god, my ticket has had such bad service." I've actually found their ticket and I've actually told our agent to go back and fix this awful response because it actually helps us. Um, you know, I really love being in line chats. I just get to see a whole bird's eye of people, hating on me and Space Ape and hating on what we're doing, and then that just helps me and motivates me to help put it right. It's just really nice place to be. And see players in a natural environment. It's like I'm going to like a natural environment. It's like sounding like David Attenborough here. They're all in their natural environment online,
Oh,
bitching about
jeez.
Transformers Earth Wars. But no, it's great. It is good seeing it because yeah, it's just authentic, isn't it? So you can learn a lot from them, and I prefer being in there, prefer reading them. I really like it when you do events as well, and people are like posting what they've got or what they've achieved. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really nice, and then when we do something wrong, it's really nice to read everybody going mad. That's also cool. Yeah. Yeah, so I like it. Or when you're in a war, we read your comments, and then I'll go into the line chat of who you're against, and then they're talking about it, and it's like, this is so cool, watching them all like get really serious over this. So cool. But yeah, there's quite a few chats that we're in.
Dude, dude, I'm not gonna lie. That's awesome. That's how you just sneaking in there, getting intel. Just
No, I've done it all the time. I've always been in the line chats for years.
well, that's what I say. I know. I definitely know you were. I know you were in a couple of line chats that I was in a couple of different alliances. Obviously now I've been in the horde for a couple of years, but uh, before then, I said I know you were in darkness. We were in there. I saw you.
No, I was in there.
People
Ah, damn.
People started tagging you a couple of times. Hey, it's like, hey, Dale, what's up with
Yeah,
this?
that's where I have to calm down a little bit. When they start tagging you, no, you're breaking my cover, guys. Come on. But yeah, there's been some genuine issues you found in there.
Yeah,
I think the most notable one that I found in there was from one player who was really upset. I think they had pulled all their combats in one batch, but one, but miss they mistapped and got it. And they were like, damn, support won't fix this for me, even though it was like the only combat that I could get. And the policy is that we never ever, like, once the crystal's been opened, we don't trade it back. But this player, like, it was his only combat in that batch.
right.
You could see it was a pure mistake. He did the ticket like literally seconds after it happened. It didn't level, it didn't touch it. And our support team was just like, no, I don't want to. We're not dealing with this. It's kind of your own fault, kind of a thing. And he posted it online. I'm not saying everybody should rant online, by the way, with their issues, but it was just like the disappointment on when he like posted it, like, this is just so disappointing. And we went back and we fixed that because we saw that, and it was obviously a clear mistake. And then since then, we actually rewrite our policies in a way where, well, actually, we don't want this to happen again. We don't want people
Mm,
to experience this. So, we're always using line to actually write policies that actually fit our players better and actually better for our players, because it's okay fixing it for that person, but what about if it happens again? Well, the policies still exist and the process is still the same. It's going to happen again. So it's always best that, we found the problem, the policy was wrong. Let's rewrite it and make it better for our players. So the next time it happens, we don't have to rant online about it. It's already fixed. So
right.
um feel like that's where our support team is at the minute. Is My job, another side of my job is like rewriting policies in a way where if you do make a mistake, we're going to revert it. Whereas before, it really wasn't like that. You made a mistake. It was, you have to deal with it now. Feel like I hope that we're more accommodating in our support team, where if you do make a genuine mistake, we're here to help. We're not going to be here like, oh my god, you just spent all these resources and we don't care about you anymore. No, if you've made a mistake, we should absolutely revert it.
Nah, I got you, and that's good to know.